Welcome to another installment of Money on the Move. I'm your host, Cassia Nunez, and today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite topics, an asset class that I and many other investors consider to be the number one asset class, which is real estate. The way I like to explain why real estate is the number one asset class is because it really pays you in 5 different ways. And there's a really cool mnemonic device. It's called the ideal investment, ideal being the acronym, standing for income, depreciation, equity growth, appreciation, and leverage. And when you really understand all of those different components of real estate, that's when I think you'll come to the same conclusion that I have as compared to all the other asset classes, being securities, commodities, and starting a business, the number one asset class. My favorite component of real estate is definitely going to be the D in ideal, which is depreciation, because it allows you to take what is called a passive loss. Now, most people aren't familiar with this concept. It's in the IRC, the Internal Revenue Code. But you essentially, depending on how much money you make, because if you make above $150,000, then you wouldn't be eligible for this, but you are essentially allowed to take a passive loss and count it against your W-2 income. So if you are a nurse, for example, and you make $100,000 a year, and you're also a real estate investor, you own 2 or 3 properties, and combine those properties produce $1,500 a month in profit after all operating expenses are paid for, after you've saved for your capital expenditures, after you've paid for everything that it costs to operate your small business, your real estate investment portfolio. You make about $1,500 a month. Now, you're allowed, according to the Internal Revenue Code, to take what is called depreciation. How you calculate depreciation is to take the value of your property, and for rough math, 80% of the value of your property, because you are not allowed to depreciate raw land, and then that 80% of the value of your property is divided over 27 and a half years. And whatever that number is what you're allowed to take in the form of depreciation.
Do you keep dreaming about when you'll be able to pursue your passions? It can be challenging to turn that dream into reality while providing quality care to your patients, addressing your student loans, and living a comfortable life. I'm Cassia Nunez, the CEO of Rhino Invest, and I'm here to share a better way, the Rhino way, which will make you financially independent sooner so that you can start to do more of what you are actually passionate about. Becoming a Rhino will increase your financial IQ by making you familiar with the concept of risk and return, the different asset classes available for investment, and how you can take advantage of those options immediately. You'll have access to curated courses, online calculators, wealth guides, checklists, and your own net worth tracker. All this and more with your Rhino account. So I invite you to take the first step towards realizing your goals by opening an account today. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to working with you.
Let's say, for example, that once you do all of that math, your depreciation expense ends up being $1,600 per month. What Uncle Sam will allow you to do is take the $1,600 in depreciation and count it against the $1,500 in actual profit, allowing you to take a passive loss of $100 per month. Now, you might be saying, I don't understand what even is depreciation. Why would the government allow you to do something like this? Well, if you're a real estate investor, the government is saying or acknowledging that there's going to be some normal wear and tear on your property as a consequence of someone, a tenant, living there. So there's going to be some wear and tear on your carpets, on your doors, on your HVAC system through use, on your plumbing system. At some point, you're going to have to replace the roof and do things like this. So the government is basically allowing you to account for all of that by depreciating those things. Now, this is the powerful thing. Once you understand what depreciation is and how you can use it to offset not just the income that is being produced from your properties, but your earned income on that nursing job. That $100 a month that you're able to use in passive loss will count against the W-2 income, which means you will impact your adjusted gross income by about $1,200 for that year. That's very, very, very powerful, because once you understand that simple concept, you're able to continue to invest in this asset class and then increase those passive losses to further decrease your tax liability. I can go into, the fact that you're able to pocket the income from rents, the fact that you're increasing your net worth with equity growth and appreciation, and the fact that you're able to control 100% of a property after only having put down sometimes as little as 3.5% to 5% of the full value of the property. So without even talking about all the other elements of real estate and just focusing on depreciation, it really is a very powerful wealth building tool. And it's the reason why I encourage so many people to invest in it. I hope this was helpful, and tune in to another installment of Money on the Move. This is Cashin, reminding you to cash in with Cashin.